The Legend of Zelda is known for its puzzles and secrets. There are some very obscure secrets in the Legend of Zelda series. These are some of them. Let's start out with one of my favorite Zelda games, Skyward Sword. In Skyward Sword, you live on a floating town called Skyloft. The only way to get around to other floating islands is to fly, but since airplanes weren't invented yet, you have to fly colorful birds called loft wings. I thought, and I'm sure if you've played this game before, you thought that they were just oversized birds, but they are actually based on a type of stork called the shoebill stork. I have a short video here of what the shoebill stork actually looks like. Ocarina of Time is one of the older Legends of Zelda games, and one of the most beloved games of them all. Once you've gained access to Gerudo Valley, you can access Gerudo Fortress. In the Gerudo Fortress, there are some carpenters that you have to rescue. In the German version of the game, the carpenters are named after the famous 1960s band The Beatles: John, Paul, George, and Ringo. In the newest installment of the Legend of Zelda series, A Link Between Worlds, there is the usual Hyrule, and then there is the polar opposite of that, called Lorule. When the Lorule Castle theme is reversed, parts of its song sound like the Hyrule Castle theme. Now we're going to hear the Lorule theme played forwards first, and then backwards, and then I'll play the Hyrule theme. Continuing on with Link Between Worlds, we have another one about the view of the game. As I'm sure you know, A Link Between Worlds is a top-down view similar to A Link to the Past. To achieve the same look as A Link to the Past, the world has been completely slanted, as you can see here. The reason they had to do this was because it would look weird to just see the top of everything, so Nintendo made it so you could see some of the side, so it didn't look too abnormal. This next one spans across two game franchises, Super Mario Galaxy and Skyward Sword. In Super Mario Galaxy, there are these things called star bits. You can collect these for points in unlocking extra worlds. You can find them scattered about all of the worlds. In Skyward Sword, there is a side quest that involves a monster called Beatrix. Beatrix says he was once a town person, but he's turned evil. He says there are things called gratitude crystals around Skyloft. He thinks that if you collect them and give them to him, he might turn back into a human. These crystal-like objects appear in both games and are based off popular Japanese candy called kopataio.